Hi guys, today we are looking at placements. We are going to practice what it means when a significator falls in a box spread.
Let's go.
Placements in smaller spreads are things that I see online and not taken into account. Now, I think this is a really fundamental part of reading, that we have to analyze the cards as they fall. It's not simply just reading a narrative. I know I do say read a narrative, keep it simple, but there's also an analysis factor that has to go in. Why did these cards fall in answer to the question asked? And whether you are using Lenormand, Kipper, Gypsy, Significator, it's not important. The cards are still analysed by the reader. Yes, we read them, but we also analyse what it actually means for these cards to fall in these positions. The spread I see this in the most is the 9-card box spread. Did you enter my competition to win a wax reading set? The video's here. I'll be announcing the winner at the end of this video. So stick around to the end and we shall see who won. I often see readers ignoring an important piece of information just because they don't analyze their reads. We all know that everything happens for a reason. I think you're on the wrong channel if you don't. There is a reason to everything. There's a reason to the way the cards fall like they do. So let's take our Kipper deck. We are going to practice what it means when a significator falls in a box spread. The significator we are taking is MC2 for this one, and then I will shuffle, set intention for the week ahead, and I will take the top 8 cards out. And then I will shuffle the significator in with the 8 cards, still with the intention of the week ahead. So the significator has fallen in her box spread. A second significator has fallen in the box spread. Interesting. Now, the week ahead, we did not set a theme. So there is not a card we are looking for to confirm this theme as a significator and placement. So we're looking at MC2 and her placement in this spread. As we can see, she is exiting the spread. Exiting the spread means that she is ready to jump out of it. The week ahead takes more control of her than she does of it, which means that if you are, for example, working through a to-do list, the to-do list will be much more complicated this week, when last week it might have been quite easy. It can be the same things to be done, but it feels like you are walking an uphill battle. So we have an uphill battle in the week ahead, despite auspicious cards. The other MC here falls at the bottom, and the cards are weighing down on him. At the bottom of the spread, he has a lot on his mind. He has a lot going on. Maybe not a lot of work done because he has work behind his back. She sat on work. She's wanting to do work. He's got it behind his back. He's not so focused on the work, or work isn't going so well. So we took on board straight away where she sat in the spread. If we take these 2 cards out again, I will use a client of mine and I will do a love spread for her. So as you see, our 2 significators fall together in the spread at the bottom. They are a solid partnership. They may not share so much because we don't have a card in between them. when two significators are directly face to face, they are a strong couple, but we don't know what the bond is because there is no card to show the bond. He has inauspicious cards, she doesn't. They both have a lot weighing them down, but at the bottom they are still together. So as a love spread, without reading the other cards, as an analysis, before we even start the read, we can see straight away, they are a good couple. They do work together as a couple. They are both probably weighed down with a lot on their mind that, yes, they're a couple in this and they're a team, but they have a lot going on. They have a lot of stuff going on. And he has some inauspicious parts of the relationship, some things that don't make him happy. She seems quite okay with it in her auspicious position. There are no love cards here, but there are super abundance cards. They may be a good team financially, for example. So without the love cards, it doesn't mean they don't love one another. It is just an analysis of the relationship as it stands. So remember, I am shuffling the lady into this deck to show how we would analyze should she turn up. The fact that she does turn up in a spread is super important. It won't refer generally to another woman. The original instructions for both Kipper and Lenormand are that the lady card and MC2 are the querent or their partner. There is no other meaning to this card. So if she decides to turn up in a really small read of just 9 cards, there is an important message for the querent, and we should analyze where the querent lands in that spread. I'll do a Lenormand just so you can see how we can do it here. I'll take the lady out. Do you remember the week ahead spread we just did for me, where I was sitting looking out and exiting my own spread? We have it again. Ta-da! My week ahead. And again, I am exiting the spread, showing more of a week where things happen around me without me truly being able to put my foot down or have a hold on this situation. So the fact that woman is ready to jump out of the spread is important. The fact that woman's in the spread is important. If she had landed in this position, we would see that she had a lot to control during the week ahead. If she was at the bottom, she would have a lot weighing down on her in the week ahead. Centrally, all these things are happening to her. Top leaving, she's exiting the spread, so we do have a majority of difficult cards behind her back. But at the top, she is in a better position to deal with it than lower down. This is affecting her because Snake is sitting over her head. So these inauspicious cards are affecting her. It is having a negative effect on her. She is probably thinking she's been betrayed this week. And with mice underneath her, it is also this feeling of loss. So she is feeling loss during the week. If she were down here and exiting, all these would have had their highest impact on her coming down. So that is the worst position in the spread for a querent to sit in, because it all pushes them out of the week, literally. So it is super important where your querent lands in a spread. It's super important that they came out. It's not a colleague or a Joe Blogs or anything. It is your querent card, and the reason they fell in the spread, you have to determine. What if we are looking at a question where a significator could be important? For example, we ask a question on love, and heart falls in the spread, or state of marriage, or good outcome and love in the Kipper cards. What happens if that significator falls without us choosing it? What if we ask a question on house and house turns up? What if we ask a question on health and tree turns up, or short illness turns up? What does that mean in the placements given? We will choose house. If you have a significator that has no directional cue, especially with Lenormand, you won't. We take the left-hand side of the spread to be inauspicious and the right-hand side of the spread to be the exiting or the outcome side of the spread. Now, isn't that interesting? Because we have our woman card fall, significator, and our man card fall, significator. And we have asked about home life, the house itself, if you like. And we have that in the top corner. So there are 3 significators to take into account with your analysis before you move on to your read. The first is the house, because we've asked about the house. The house is in a solid position at the top, in a good, in control. This is a solid situation. It's not moving. We then have MC2 entering the spread, and she has an auspicious week at home because the cards in ahead of her are auspicious. There may be some issues, but it's nothing that she can't deal with because they are auspicious. Man, however, is exiting the spread. He won't be at home so much in the week ahead. He has cards, especially with Journey here. He has cards that suggest he won't be in the house that much in the coming week. And that's before you even get into your read, of course. So we'll try one more with tree as a health significator or any unhealthy situations in our Lenormand deck. And remember, we are seeing if tree turns up. I'm only putting tree in for practice purposes. This is if it comes up in a read regarding that question. So we have asked a question regarding health, and surprise, tree turns up in the read. As tree turns up, it is a negative health. Tree being near, which it is if it's coming into a smaller spread, tree being near shows unhealthy situations or negative health. We have fish in the mix, mice, some challenging cards here. Crossroads can also be challenging. But tree sits at the top and weighs down. It has its heaviest influence here because it's a negative card and it's weighing down on the spread. We have child in the middle, so we could see some form of virus and pain here in the week ahead, especially with garden and clover in the mix. We're probably having some form of cold or flu in the house. But again, tree shows up, shows us negative health. Tree sits at the top, bearing its heaviest weight on the spread. And it plays a significant part because it's close to child, so one of my children. So if you are looking for a negative significator and it turns up in the spread, then it has its full near value. I hope that helps. Take care and pay attention to every card that falls. It falls for a reason. If a significator falls, it falls for a double reason, and it brings its heaviest weight with it when it does. Have a practice and tag me in. Who do you think won the wax competition? I put all the names to a friend who has absolutely nothing to do with my channel, is completely not interested in cards, and I said choose a name from the comments. And the winner is congratulations. You need to PM me on Facebook, send me your address, and that will be winging its way to you. And of course, I need to see photos when you do. Have a lovely week, everyone. I will be doing another competition soon. I have some decks to give away that I haven't got around to yet. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you on the next one.